Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Cybersecurity Amplified and Intensified. Today, we're going to do it a little different. I have a Q&A set up with a couple questions from you guys and gals who sent some questions in. Hopefully, we can get through them. If not, we'll save them for the next round. First one, should I invest in products or process? Now, I've always said that for me, the most important thing that anyone can ever do is build out their processes and then find the tools that support those processes. Oftentimes, you have security vendors or other people who come telling you that, hey, buy our tool and it will make you more compliant. It will make you more secure. When in reality, all you're doing is perpetuating the security onion nonsense. So with that said, always start with process and procedure, and then look for the tool that will help you scale without sacrificing security. Question number 2. What threats keep me up at night? Oh boy. Anything that's connected to the internet? Anything with an RMM agent? I mean, it really could go either way. So, number 1 are insider threats and email. And this is because an insider threat can go without being caught if they click on a malicious link and pass it off as an accident. Because as we know, no email security solution is 100% hell. They're probably not even 90%, quite honestly. I still see bad links getting through. And we're using API-based email protection. But again, that's no different. API-based protection is probably better than the old gateway stuff. We use Microsoft Advanced Threat Protection for email to replace your traditional gateway. And for those watching, those were my air quotes. And we currently use Iron Scales, fantastic product. We're looking at some others, but it's really slim pickings in the API-based protection realm. And if I can cut out as much liability from from email-borne threats, then I think I could significantly reduce my vectors of attack. And really and truly, if you wanted to reduce the impact of email-borne threats, I would do 2 things. Least privilege access as much as you can, everywhere you can, and make sure no user has local administrator privileges for their workstation, their thin client, anything that they're logging into. They're users. They don't need admin privileges. And if you're using applications that require admin privileges on run, you should probably find another application. Next up, numero tres. You've had a couple episodes where guests discuss how few management agents are installed on their systems. Where are you on agent count and why? Ooh, this is my new hot topic. This is my hill to die on. Let's see. We've got the RMM agent, got the remote access that goes with RMM. We have the AV agent. We have Intune, and we have a remote cloud printing agent that gets on. So I am at 5. I don't know. And if you guys want to go back to some of the episodes that mention this, check out episodes number 60 with insider threat hunting and episode number 63 with remote workforce security. But back to this question. Reducing your footprint and your attack surface area is always a great idea. Now, the question is, how are you going to do that? In reality, I think you need a management agent on there to push out policy. So whether that's Active Directory, Intune, an RMM, or something like Jamf for the iOS or Mac OS. That should be first and foremost. I think you need an antivirus agent, and I'm old, so I know it's now called anti-malware or next generation AV, but you need that on there. And other than that, the only thing that you should probably have on there is a remote access application. And maybe cap it at 3. If you can get down to 2 where your management agent, whether it's Intune, Jamf, or anything like that, can have it built in, that's fantastic. In the case of myself, I use an RMM, and that RMM installs a separate agent. So I'm at 5 agents. I wish I can get down to 3, which I might be able to pull off. I don't know. That means I would have to get out of the MSP-specific software, which is a whole nother episode. If you want to hear more about that, drop some comments down below and let me know. Question number 4. Every major vendor is pushing EDR on us. Should we do it? Yes and no. do you have a team that's going to go through the copious amounts of data that an EDR is going to make available to you? If you do, you have the threat hunting intelligence, you have the threat hunting know-how and talent internally, then absolutely go for it. Do it. If you do not have anyone who can go through and parse this data for you in an, to quote Brian Weiss, an actionable manner, then having EDR is nothing more than a great exercise to waste your money on the beloved security onion. And for those of you that have been listening on, I'm not a fan of the security onion, at least not the way it's sold to sell clients on repetitive solutions that don't really enforce your security. So yes, I do think it's worth it if you have the talent and the team, and for my question before, the process and procedures to parse the data and make it actionable. And question number 5, with Kaseya buying data, what are your thoughts on vendor consolidation in the MSP industry? This is a really interesting question for me because I do exist in the MSP industry to a degree. I have a lot of peers that are in the MSP industry. And, the biggest problem I see with this consolidation is once this consolidation closes or this acquisition closes, the MSP industry is going to have 3 major players, 2 of which have a degree of common ownership, but at least with the firms behind them. And that is going to do one of 2 things. It's either going to make development cease and desist, or it's going to create this competition between them where all they do is develop to try to one-up the other. It's too early to see who is going to do what or what's going to happen. But in my mind, I wish that data was going to stay on its own. But you know what? Kaseya may surprise us. Not likely. Probably, most definitely not likely. But they might. So let's give them the opportunity to see. And let's not forget, we don't know if this deal is even going to close because it probably has to go through regulatory approval. But hey, what do I know? And to round off the Kaseya buying datto piece, I would say we go back to question 1 from today. If you are ingrained in process and procedure, it really shouldn't matter what tools you have, and it should make your ability to move from one tool to another that much easier. And with that, I think I'm done for the day. Again, you have any questions, drop them in the comments, email info@amplifiedandentensified.com. And every Tuesday, we will do 2-Minute Tuesday every Tuesday. That may not be a 2-Minute Tuesday or even on a Tuesday, and try to answer some of your questions.